Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well, on this channel, you never know what you're going to see. While we are primarily a firearms channel, sometimes we like to throw a few surprises in there, and this is no exception to the rule. So what you guys are going to see today is just a basic overview, introduction, and hopefully a live test of the Stihl MS291 chainsaw. We've got two pretty good sized trees that we're going to be dropping on our property. They're between 50 to 75 feet high. They're about 60 years old. Now, the actual cutting of the limbs and the cutting of the trunk is going to be done by a professional as we get those branches lowered to the ground. But once those branches are on the ground, we're going to begin processing those all those branches for firewood for the next couple of years. I'm going to have my family helping me out there. We're going to have a variety of chainsaws, and the Stihl MS291 is one of those chainsaws. So let's go ahead and go over the specifications on this chainsaw because it actually has quite a bit that it offers, although it does come at what I would consider a premium price. Alright guys, so this Stihl chainsaw has a retail price of $449, anywhere between $449 and $499. Just kind of taking some information from the Stihl website. What do you need to know? It does feature a fuel-saving engine with a longer runtime. It does have an advanced pre-separation air filtration system. It also has an anti-vibration system. I gotta say, just the few times I've turned it on, warmed it up, and just did a couple sample branches to make sure it would cut. Going from my Craftsman to go into this Stihl model, it's like going from a 79 Firebird to a Porsche 911. It's smooth, the power delivery, the torque, it's very comfortable to use. Although I have not used it for extended periods of time, you can just feel a lot less vibration coming through the handle. Now, the displacement on this chainsaw is 55.5 cubic centimeters, which is 3.39 cubic inches. The engine power is 3.76 brake horsepower. The power head weight is 12.1 pounds. The guide bar links that are recommended from Stihl are 16 to 20 inches. I've got the 20-inch bar on this model. The fuel capacity is 16.9 ounces. The chain oil capacity is 8.12 ounces, and it takes an Oil-O-Matic chain, which is a .325 RM3 chain. I'm assuming that's what that stands for. Now, it does feature an anti-kickback design, so it is going to hopefully be safer as well as it can shut itself off if the chain is bucked in a certain direction by itself. It also features an IntelliCarb compensating carburetor. It's designed to adjust the air-fuel ratio when your air filter becomes restricted, or if you've got some advanced cutting sessions, you're not going to lose performance. Now, it does have a winter-summer shutter, which you can flip over if you're going to be chainsawing in colder conditions. Now, one of the most controversial systems on this chainsaw reduces your oil consumption by 50%, claims to provide a more efficient run in general, but a lot of guys complain about this, even on the Stihl website. One thing I respect about Stihl is they do leave the one-star reviews on the website. Guys have claimed to have burned up their bar just after a few cutting sessions because they thought or were under the assumption that the chain should be putting out more oil on the bar. And what it is that the chain will oil the bar as long as the chain is running, but you don't have an adjustable oiler where you can control the flow. If you're used to that on your old chainsaw, you might want to look around for a model that still has that. I don't know if that's necessarily going to become the thing of the future on chainsaws, but what I was told by my Stihl dealer, and you can if I'm wrong about this, you can let me know in the comments down below. He said run either an all-winter blend year-round, okay, or run a 50-50 blend of winter bar oil and summer bar oil. So I have those. I got those from him too, and I'm going to be running the 50-50. When I did a quick little test and started it up, I did a 50-50 blend in the reservoir, and the bar did have some oil on it. I mean, it wasn't overly oiled, but it was enough what I would think is adequate lubrication to actually cut. If it looks like it's running too dry, I can always add more just winter oil. The trade-off on that is it's a thinner viscosity. We're going to have to keep an eye on the reservoir longer to make sure that we don't run the chainsaw dry. Now, it does have a side access chain tensioner. You do have to loosen the two bolts, and from there you can adjust the chain tension like many traditional chainsaws that you're used to. Starting it is just a little bit different. If you're not familiar with the Stihl system for starting it with this type of ignition system, you squeeze the throttle, you push all the way down to the cold setting. What you do is you pull it one time or two times until you hear the chainsaw try to start. You then flip up to the half choke position, pull the pull start one or two times. The second time, if it doesn't start, it should start right up. Once it's running after about 10 seconds, I believe it automatically flips to the warm running position once it actually gets there. So it's not hard to do. You just need to kind of pay attention to what you're doing because apparently this model can be just a little bit easy to flood. Now, just from the little bit that I've actually used it, and obviously I'm going to give you guys a better report once we're done, I find the ergonomics to be comfortable. The chain brake lever is easy to access. I think it would, you know, engage properly if necessary. Over here you've got the two nuts that you can loosen with your chain tensioner right here, so you can adjust the tension on your chain as you cut. not sure if you can see that, but there's your bar information. I don't know if we're going to be able to zoom in on that, but we'll show you the replacement chain. Over here's the fuel that I use for it. I think I spent about $7.50. Now I normally use the CEF premix fuel in my Craftsman chainsaw. This is a little bit higher octane rating, and I just don't want to take any chances on a $450 chainsaw. What's an extra $2 for a can of fuel if it's going to ensure that it's going to run longer? Also, the Stihl dealer told me that if I run the Motomix gas in it, or I use their special platinum oil or the special 2-cycle oil that they sell, it's going to extend my warranty an additional year, so I get, it's either 2 or 3 years. I believe it's 2 years of warranty time with the chainsaw if I run that mix. As for the chain itself, okay, this is your Oil-O-Matic chain. A lot of information on here. Let you guys take a look at that. So that's the chain that you're going to want on. $24 for a replacement chain. It's about $9 more than the Oregon chains that I was running on my Craftsman chainsaw, which is an 18-inch model. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. Well, getting things ready. We're going to be cutting in the morning, and hopefully I can get a little bit of footage of me doing a little bit of sawing, and then when it's all said and done, if I'm still alive, knock on wood, no pun intended, we'll come back and I'll just give you kind of my final thoughts on it after doing an entire day of cutting wood with it, and we'll see if it's something that I do in fact recommend. Okay, so it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. We started at 8:30 this morning. My family's inside taking a break right now. It's about 90-some degrees out. Everything you see here, I mean, guys, I can't even tell you how much wood I've cut with that first chain on that MS291. She is just a little beast. When I changed the chain, I mean, I was just whizzing. Everything you see here was cut with it. Part of it is I didn't want to do a whole lot of filming because we had 3 saws going at one point and we had people ferrying logs all over the place, but I got through probably about 5 or 6 hours of kind of off and on cutting. I can't even tell you how much I cut before I finally changed the chain out. Now I am going to sharpen the first chain with this. This is the little Stihl sharpening tool that they sell. It's made for the chain that comes with the MS291. And we're going to go ahead and put an edge back on that first chain eventually. The second chain is still good, but I need to clean up some of this mess here. Front yard. Oh, good God. So anyway, yeah, it's okay. It's quite the project. I'm glad it's done. The 2 trees were dead. Okay, guys, so that is it. We had a full day of cutting with the Stihl MS291 chainsaw. I'm a little tired. It's about 10:15 at night, and we're still not 100% done. What you saw in that previous wood pile we still need to do. We were taking care of the mess out front of the house. That in itself is a whole job that took the rest of the time. But anyway, the MS291. All right, so let me just go and give you some pros about this thing. First of all, fantastic power. With the 20-inch bar, I was cutting through 16 to 18-inch stumps with no problems. You know, like I said, I got a solid maybe 3 or 4 hours of on and off cutting before I had to change out the chain. Sorry, I'm a little tired. And once I changed out the chain, I continued doing the cutting. It was no problems. You know, we're dealing with some really hard wood here, and it is non-stop cutting the whole time. It's not like we're going to drop a tree and cut into a few chunks. It was pretty much straight through. And fuel usage, it's not bad. It was about a half a tank for probably about, I don't know, maybe a 30 to 45 minute cutting session. But again, it depends. You know, your use is going to vary depending on how hard you are on the throttle and so on. Once I got about that 3rd or 4th tank down, I think that was about the time that we finally got the break-in of the engine taken care of, and it really seemed to open up, or at least maybe that was just me. It really got into the power and would just slice through stuff. It was awesome. Got to sharpen up the old chain, but otherwise, yeah, no, it's an awesome chainsaw. The other thing that I really liked about it was a lack of vibration that I felt. If I use a 2-stroke power tool, like say a weed eater, for a long, for a decent amount of time, you can kind of feel it in your hands. There's kind of a I don't know, a little hard to explain, a little bit of a vibration in your hands that you still feel after working with those power tools. And I did not notice that with this at all. I mean, my wrists are a little tired, my arms are tired, my back's tired, but I mean, overall, I just feel like I could pick it up and do some more cutting with it if I wasn't so tired. So that's one really cool thing about it. Just the fatigue you're going to experience is going to be minimized with the anti-vibration design that you have here. Otherwise, it's fine. I was running a 50-50 mix of the winter blend. For a while, it was kind of going all winter blend, but it really seemed to empty out the reservoir tank quickly. So then I went 50-50 mix on it, and that seemed to do a pretty good job. Still put out a decent amount of oil on the chain, and that's my recommendation to you. Keep that oiler clean. After I swapped out the chains, I went ahead and cleaned out the channel for the oiler, the little nozzle that pushes the oil into the bar, and that really made a huge difference. So overall, no, man, this thing is just awesome. I mean, I had my Craftsman is having some issues right now, and I'm glad I had this as a backup, because the stuff that we were cutting was some pretty serious wood. And I don't, and when it comes to Stihl, you just want to go with the model that's going to work best for you. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Do a lot of research. The dealers that I've met, I've talked to 2 or 3 different dealers before I bought this one, and they're all very knowledgeable. They all seem to do a great job talking about the different models, trying to get you suited for the model that's going to work best for you. And they got a ton of different models. So cons, let's get through some cons on this. It's heavy. It's heavy. I mean, we're looking at, a little over 12, I think I said 12 pounds, 12.1 pounds is the power head weight. Throw a 20-inch bar on there, longer chain. I mean, even my buddy, who's an experienced chainsaw dude, he cuts a lot of wood. He even said, man, that thing's got some weight to it. So he noticed it too. Of course, we're getting kind of old, we're in our 40s, so what do you expect? But yeah, you might want to go for something maybe a couple pounds shorter or lighter, especially if you're going to be doing some extended cutting sessions. So just keep that in mind. But overall, no, this thing is just awesome. Otherwise, I think that's about it. I don't want to sit here and throw too many ums at you and us. I need to get some sleep. But we're going to continue working on that tomorrow. And guys, if you like what you see, please like or subscribe. I don't know if I'll do a lot more power tool tests or not. I've done just a few on the channel, and that's pretty much about it. But do stay tuned. Make sure you check out Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time. We've got a show that we do called Caliber Corner. It's an awesome show. I won't be doing that. I'm trying to do it every Saturday if I can, but if you don't see a new episode, don't worry. There's going to be a new episode a week later. I'm actually taking tomorrow off so I can continue working on the wood out front that we need to work on and kind of getting things cleaned up a little bit. But otherwise, if you like what you see, please like or subscribe. Guys, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on gunchannels.com, and that's where you can find Caliber Corner. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much about it. So guys, I want you to have fun, be safe, be very safe if you're going to go buy a toy like this. Well, it's not a toy, this is a tool, all right? It's a very serious tool. And guys, we will talk to you soon. Take care. I'll be bringing you more range tests here shortly. You got a busy week coming up after the holiday weekend. Then after that, we'll be at the range quite a bit. So guys, have fun, be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.